All right, welcome back, everyone. Before I say anything, there's something I want to show you. Check this out. Whoa, how you flip it? Check this out. Yep, I got a new car. Got me a C5 Corvette. Let's go for a drive and we'll talk about it. This thing's so low. This is my favorite part. Oh, I didn't do it that time. It's got memory seats. Pretty lit. Start it up, see what it sounds like. Not too bad, not too bad. This thing came with the Borla exhaust. It's just a muffler though, so it's not too loud, which is what I like. A lot's happened in these past couple of months, so I just thought I'd fill you guys in. We'll go for a nice drive in the new C5 and kind of explain the reasoning behind it and go from there. So let's take this bad boy for a drive. Sounds good. Let's start with the E36. So in the last video, we took the E36 out to a drift event and things didn't go so well.
Give us your thoughts.
Thoughts is, I'm nervous. There's a lot of blow by. I think the engine is cooked, but we're still gonna send it. Blows it blows. That's not good though. There ended up being a lot of blow by. The engine was producing a lot of smoke and it was leaking oil onto the exhaust. It was leaking fuel at one point. It was just not good. I ended up taking it back to the garage and doing a compression test on it.
That's not good.
Cylinder 1 had like 60 psi and it just slowly started incrementing up from there. It went from like 60 to 200 throughout all the cylinders. So it went from like 60 to like 100 to like 120. It just kept going up. So there was definitely some major problems with the engine. I'm guessing it has something to do with either the ring lands or the piston rings. For some reason, it's got excessive blow by. Not good. We're gonna have to tear it apart, basically. So that's the E36 right now. It's in limbo. I'm just kind of holding off on it because I ended up switching things up. So the initial plan was to have the E36 as a drift car, and I ended up buying an E34. I don't know if you guys saw that video. Not many people did. Ended up picking up an E34 that I was gonna LS swap and like twin turbo it, do a bunch of crazy stuff. But because the E36 has now gone through 2 motors, I think it's time to switch things up. I ended up moving too, so that took up some time. Moving's always a pain. I hate it. And I moved like 30 minutes away. Still here in Sacramento, just a little bit further in a different area. But after we finished moving, I was thinking about it, right? I was like, this E36, I can't get it to be reliable. I think it'll work as a street car, but as a drift car, I think it's just either going to take a lot more testing and blowing of engines, or it's time to retire it as a drift car and grab something else. So, for the longest time, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to grab an E46 330 Ci. Those are decent cars. I ended up going to Oregon. Long story short, it didn't pan out. The guy was actually a kid that was selling it to me. Everything seemed perfect in the listing through a marketplace, but I ended up showing up and the car was a complete wreck. One of the side skirts was missing. That wasn't in the photos. The paint was completely faded. That wasn't in the photos. It was leaking oil out of everywhere. One of the axles was shot, so I didn't even know if I could make it back. And every time we went on a test drive, every time I shifted, the radio was like the entire radio unit would come flying out, and it would grind in first gear. The guy reeked of alcohol, the car reeked of cigarettes. It was all bad. That was actually the second E46 I went to go look at. The first one was equally clapped out. And I was thinking to myself, why do I want a clapped out E46? It's just going to be a lot of problems and a lot of mileage. So there's going to be stuff breaking left and right. So I was thinking, what would be a better drift car? And obviously, C5 came into mind. So that's where we're at now. This car is a bit of a gamble because it is so damn expensive. I kind of need it to work really well, and I need it to be reliable. So I took a bit of a gamble with this car. The E46s that I was initially looking at were like, what, $5,000 max? This one is more than double that. So that's why I was hesitant to go with the C5 to begin with. But here we are, hoping this thing will be reliable. If not, luckily we do have a 6.0 in the garage, an LQ4 that we pulled out of the pick and pull, so we could always swap that in if the engine blows. I'm not like the most familiar with the C5 platform because it's before my time working for Chevy, but I'm familiar with GM. So, and I have access to a lot of equipment or parts that I might need for this car. So it kind of all works out. If you guys aren't familiar with the C5s, they're kind of on the rage right now for drifting. They're one of the more popular cars. There's now a lot of aftermarket support for them, angle kits. Comes with the 5.7 liter LS1 actually. It makes about 350 horsepower, about the same in torque. It depends on the year that you get. I guess this one's the 2004, which is the last of the C5 models. So supposedly the later models have a little bit more power. I don't know if that's exactly true or not, but this thing goes. It fuels as fast as my E36 turbo that makes 300 to the wheels. So I think it's about right. The transmission's in the back. The engine's in the front, but the transmission's in the back. There's a torque tube that connects. That's what it's called. There's a torque tube that connects the engine to the transmission, and that's also one of the more common failures. So these C5 Corvettes are, for the most part, pretty reliable, but there's things you got to look out for. For one, the torque tube. Those bearings, they go bad after time, and they need to be replaced, or you need to replace the entire torque tube. This one seems fine for now, but I don't doubt I'll be needing to replace it in the future. Also, the LS in general has some oiling issues, especially when it comes to like road racing and drifting. So we're gonna have to address that so we don't accidentally rod knock the engine. We do have a drift event, of course. There needs to be some kind of time crunch. There is a drift event in about a week at one of the newest tracks. It's actually a brand new track that is opening up. It's more of like a skid pad here in Sacramento. I heard about it like a week ago. This is like super last minute decisions. But it's happening and it's next week and I already entered it. So we need a lot of things. This Corvette is bone stock. I haven't done much to it. It does come with an aftermarket stereo, which is pretty lit. It's got a lot of bass. It's got a 12-inch sub in the back, and this is like all 2005 technology, like the touchscreen, and it's got like three amplifiers. I don't know exactly what they're for. There's 3 different things back there. It's all covered up. But it comes with that. It comes with the exhaust, which, let's see if you can hear it. We're almost at the freeway. I'll do a little pull on the freeway. But that's about it. Everything else is bone stock. We need to modify this. We need to do a lot of things. If we're gonna have this be a drift car, we need steering kit, because this car doesn't have that much angle. We need an angle kit. We need coilovers, good suspension system. It comes with leaf springs, which from driving it around, it's not too bad. It's actually pretty stiff. But I think coilovers are kind of a must if we're going to go drifting. And it also needs, like I was talking about with the oiling system problems, an AccuSump is what I'm thinking of going with. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm I'm gonna be picking up. I was talking with the owner, the previous owner, and he told me that I guess some grandma used to own it and they clipped the garage on their way out. I don't know how, but looks like the fender is like pretty misaligned, so we're gonna have to fix that. The car also seems to be leaking oil. It doesn't look like it's crazy, but it's something I definitely need to take a look at. I've heard these cars love to have electrical issues, but so far this one's been good. It does have a couple little quirks here and there. Sometimes I'll try to like use the turn signals and nothing happens, so that's interesting, but I mean, so far so good. This thing also has, from the factory, selective ride. It's got a knob here in the bottom where you can change the stiffness, I'm guessing, of the suspension, but I don't even know if it works. Nothing lights up, it doesn't say anything. Alright, pulling up to the freeway. Let's see what this thing sounds like. Not too bad, not too bad. This is the first V8 I've ever owned. First one, never owned the V8. I've owned 4-sills, I've owned 6-sills, turbo 6-sills, super slow 6-sills, inline 6, V6, but never a V8. And I get the hype. It's just so responsive. The power is just there immediately and it just goes. It wants to accelerate, like all that torque is amazing. And I think that'll translate really well for drifting too. So I'm really excited about this. Super excited. This is a big change, but definitely in the right direction. The E34 project is now a bust. We're moving it to a different timeline. I still want to build one eventually, but for now it's just not feasible. I can really only have 2 projects at a time. So it's gonna be this car and the E36 I'm keeping. I'm gonna fix the engine on the E36, most likely replace it, or might just get like a whole different E36 and swap everything over just so I can retain the AC stuff and a lot of the nice interior components that I ended up pulling out. And it'll also be nice because I can make a bunch of videos on turboing an E36. We can start up from the ground up. But yeah, the E34 has to go, so I'm going to be selling it most likely to my roommate. He really wants it, and that's going to be a project for a different day.
It's 2,500 right here, right now.
3K right here, right now. No questions asked. No questions asked. I'll give you, no, 3K is what you need to pay up. 3K, no questions asked, man.
There's a fucking crack in the front bumper. There's a crack in the rear bumper.
You know what? You know what? 3,500. I think that'll pretty much do it for this video. We got a new car. We'll be making out more videos pretty soon here, so if there's anything I missed, I'll bring them up in those. But you know, I have a C5 and it's gonna be fun. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.